Tigers wrapped up non-conference play with a victory over Yale. We'll talk about it with head coach Sonia LaMonica on today's edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. Hi fans, and welcome to today's edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Ben Rosenbuam. Towson picks up their final non-conference game victory of the year with a 9-4 win over the Yale Bulldogs. I'm joined as always by head coach Sonia LaMonica. And coach, just 9 goals in this game. It's just the second time all season this team hasn't scored in double digits, the first one being a loss to Stony Brook. Just your thoughts in general of the game, because maybe not the best offensive performance, but a really solid defensive one.
Yeah, I think we were so close to putting up more goals, just some subtle little adjustments offensively. We hit some pipes. Yale's goalie made some great saves. When you factor some of those elements in, sometimes, that can be a big difference in the score differential. So not going to read too much into it. Looking back at the film, there were definitely some positives that we took away from our offense, and also just some little tweaks that if we can do that, are going to make us even more prolific as an offense.
Someone who wasn't having any trouble finding the back of the net, though, was Carly Tellekamp. 3 goals for her, a hat trick. It was another game, another leading scorer, as Emily Gillingham had a hot streak going the last couple of games, and now here comes Carly.
Yeah. And as we've talked about that before, right? I mean, we've got some outstanding players, and we talk so much about sharing the load that, and you never know how teams going to play, what they find as, the key matchups, who they want to shut down based on their strengths defensively, and that can change from game to game too. So I think that's, why you see some variety. It's certainly what we want. I think it's, we love seeing, a tight race between all of our offensive scorers and their sort of stat line, if you will.
I've asked you before that. I know for you, it's nice to know that you can go to Emily or Carly or Caitlin or Caitlin Thornton now. But if you were scouting against that, how crazy would that drive you trying to prepare for it? Could literally come from one of 5, 6 different places.
I guess it depends on the style of defense you run. A man-to-man is going to be a little different focus to a zone, and they're going to force the offense to do different things. So I think it all depends on, what defensive scheme you want to put up against an offense such as ours, and kind of go from there. But certainly some teams have better strengths on their crease defense. Others are better up top. Some are well-balanced across the board. And again, I think it's about, finding the right matchups or what your defensive scheme is. It's all a bit of strategy in there.
And, of course, Tiana Walfer, defensive player of the week for the CAA, 3 cost turnovers for her. And she does such a good job. I mean, obviously the stat line, but as well as a vocal leader and just keeping a calm presence on that back unit. She's really had a great weekend. It's a well-deserved honor.
Yeah, absolutely. Really proud of Tiana. She's a real emotional leader for us. She's the person that you hear every day in practice. And I was just talking with her yesterday a little bit, talking about, what's memorable, what would be memorable when I'm not here. And that's what I told her, that's going to be the piece that will be huge shoes to fill, down the line in the future, is her presence, her vocal presence, but just in an encouraging, supportive way. She brings that energy and she plays with that too. And, that transfers onto our offensive end. So really pumped that she got some recognition this week. We love to see the Tigers getting recognition. It's nice to see it getting spread out amongst our defenders as well. So pretty cool.
All right, that'll do it for us today on the Tiger Lacrosse Report. Join us next time when we preview the Tigers' CAA opener against the Drexel Dragons. For head coach Sonia LaMonica, I'm Ben Rosenbuam. Thanks for joining us, and as always, go Tigers.